Did you know that you can buy real plants on Amazon? But did you also know that you cannot buy the ability to keep them alive or a way to remember to water them on Amazon? Like, that's not there, unfortunately. I recently redid some stuff in my office. I got some new desks, and I'm going to be redoing this back wall back here, and just kind of like redid some things. And in doing that, I had to organize a lot of the things that I have. And I realized that I have some things that were game changers for me that I got off Amazon. Super easy, most of them are pretty cheap. And I would be remiss not to share those awesome things with you because they make my life as a content creator way, way easier. Hey, howdy, hey, y'all. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jessica Stansberry, and I am pumped that you are here. I help creators create in a way that also makes them money. So, welcome. If you are not new here, welcome too. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. Okay, first things first, we have to talk about my sweatshirt. It says, I'd rather be watching Gilmore Girls. Is it not amazing? And guess where it's from? My merch shop. That's right. I released this and a couple other Gilmore Girls designs because y'all know that I love me some Gilmore Girls. And this is probably my favorite one of the three that I released. If you want to check out my merch shop, all you have to do is go to heyjessica.com/merch and you will be able to check out this sweatshirt and all the others that I have in the store. Okay, so let's just get into it. And today is the perfect day for me to show you this first thing I want to mention, and that is daylight bulbs. Now, you can get these anywhere. You can get these at a hardware store. You can get these anywhere, but I swear they will be a game changer for you in your filming space if you're filming videos. So back in the day, before I had this office, we had an older home, and the light in my office was just like, an overhead ceiling fan light. So I replaced all of the bulbs in the ceiling fan with daylight bulbs and even put in some lamps with daylight bulbs in them. And y'all, I'm telling you, it makes the biggest difference. And the reason I say that today is the perfect day to show you this is because it's basically dark outside, okay? It is basically dark outside. But here in my office, I actually have a ton of daylight bulbs installed above my head. And it's not the best lighting, right? Like, it's all coming down. But if I didn't have them, my shot would look like this. And literally the only light that is shining on my face is the light from my computer. And I have some settings on my camera where it knows I want it to be a bit brighter. So it's helping a little bit. But daylight bulbs are a massive game changer if you're filming, when you're filming, and it keeps you from having to drag studio lights out all the time. I'm going to link up several versions of the daylight bulbs that I have used in the past, or the ones that are like the smart bulbs that you can control from your phone, and you can make them go warm or cold. And what I mean by daylight bulbs, by the way, are that they are this like a little bit bluer of a light, and so they make true whites on camera, and it's a little bit more of like a natural light in a video versus that yellow, like warm light, which I don't love, especially for me with my hair and my skin tone. It just makes me look orange. And so anyway, daylight bulbs are great. If you're building a house or something, just stock your office full of them like I have. I will say I plan to replace all of my overhead bulbs with the ones I can control from my phone because some days I don't need them on as bright, but I just need a little something, and some days I need part of them on and not the others. So anyway, daylight bulbs will be a game changer. This random thing right here, and it's very bleak. I actually need to buy some new SD cards. I might ask Santa for those. So I've never really had a great way to store my SD cards. Generally, they kind of like sit on the base of my iMac, which is not a great way to store them. But when I bought this camera, the A7S III, it requires a more robust SD card. Therefore, they're more expensive. And I was like, you know what? I really don't need to just throw them around. They're not worth anything. Plus, if I am out filming or whatever outside of my office, or I am taking my footage somewhere else to edit, which I actually think I'm going to do tomorrow, because I got the new Mac, what is it? M1 Max MacBook Pro 16-inch, and I haven't been able to take myself and my setup to like a coffee shop to work in a long time because my laptop wasn't robust enough to really edit the 4K footage that comes out of this camera. And so if I'm like going to a coffee shop or whatever, I can just bring this thing with me. I can travel with this, like when I go to conferences again. Hallelujah. It'll be great. By the way, if I sound stuffy and snotty, it's because I am. My germy children gave me a cold, and we are on day 8 of this sucker. I actually feel way better. It is not COVID. I got tested. I don't feel bad enough for it to have been COVID. But the snot is here. It's here to stay. You know what? Actually, while we're on the topic of me taking my laptop somewhere and my laptop not being robust enough to edit footage and blah, 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 we have to talk about these LaCie hard drives. Now, these are hard drives. Therefore, while they do look rugged and things, if you drop it, you could lose all the shit on it. Most people are going to recommend a solid state hard drive. Those are way more expensive, and I think these work great for what you as a content creator, what I as a content creator need them to work for. So when I bought this A7S III, I was using 4K footage before that on what was I using before this? My Canon M50, I guess. But the file sizes were still not near as big as what they are in this camera. And so I was using Premiere Pro at the time, and I started, like offloading this footage from this big brand new camera, and my computer was like, no, girl, no, sorry. We're not doing this today. And quickly I realized that I was going to have to make some changes to my editing style. And one of those changes is that I switched to Final Cut Pro, which I love, by the way. I love it probably more than I loved Premiere Pro. It's just way more intuitive. But the other change that I made is I grabbed a couple of these, actually. So I use these for a couple different reasons. If I'm editing a video on my iMac, I have a 2017 iMac. It is completely spec'd out. It's completely maxed out. And I still have to use proxy files in Final Cut Pro with my 4K footage because it's so big and the computer just freaks out. And I have found that if I will edit from the hard drive, from this hard drive, it will actually run faster and do better. So here on my iMac, I actually use these LaCie hard drives to edit from and basically like house all of the editing memory that happens rather than the hard drive on my computer. It kind of makes me mad because it's not like this computer was cheap, but here we are. The other thing I use these for, though, obviously, is to store footage. So on my laptop, my new one, I don't have to, and I don't want to use an external hard drive to edit from, but to dump the files onto after, it is a great thing to use for that. So these are really great. You can get them that connect with USB, regular USB, or the USB-C. I have them both. Like this one is for my iMac, and then I also have one that has USB-C for my MacBook. Go with me, if you will, to the land of all things Rode. I love Rode products. I love all of their microphones. I use a Rode top of the camera mic. I use the Rode Wireless Go 2s. I have a Rodecaster Pro now, which I'm going to talk about. But as a content creator, as a YouTuber, as a video maker, I need several mic situations. Like I need versatility when it comes to a microphone, because the sound that you're likely hearing on this video is probably, and I say probably because I won't know until I edit it to make sure, but I think it's going to be coming from this here mic through my Rodecaster Pro, which I'm very excited about, but I've got it kind of just pushed out of frame enough to where it's here, but it's not showing on camera. But I need a lot of versatility, right? I need a top of camera mic for vlogging. I need microphones to be able to clip on my shirt if I'm filming and I'm not going to be like right at the camera. So like my video about how to be a cool YouTuber, I was wearing this throughout the whole video, which I wasn't wearing this one. This is the one that hooks to your actual camera, but I was wearing this. And then here in my studio / office, I have really been noticing that my footage was a little echoey because I'm talking at the camera. And as I'm talking at the camera, there are windows directly behind the camera. So I needed just a little bit more of a steady, sound situation. So I went with a Rodecaster Pro with a Shure mic that I already have. So I'm going to link all of these things, but I want to talk about them individually. They're all available on Amazon. Obviously, you could go through somewhere else like B&H Photo, Rode. I don't know if you can order through Rode itself, like through the actual website. But if you're looking for a microphone, Rode is honestly a great place to start. And if you're looking for more like audio help, I highly recommend checking out Tom Buck and his channel. He is great, and he has basically helped me make all my sound decisions in the last year or so. He's the reason I bought this Shure mic. He's the reason I bought this Rodecaster Pro. I don't remember if he's the reason I bought these, but if you need audio help, I will link his channel below. Okay, but let's talk about microphones. Okay, let me first say that when I am looking for a top of camera microphone, I need one that works on the power of my camera versus needing batteries because I forget to charge things. Or I need something that's going to stay charged for a very long time. And this Rode, let's see, which one is this? Rode Videomic Pro Plus is spectacular. It does have to be charged, but it charges with, something normal. And then it plugs into your camera and there's lights on the back so it's on. I really, really like this top of camera mic. And you could even use it as like a boom mic if you wanted to position it like right above you or something like that on like a boom stand. But love this one. I'm actually using a Deity top of camera mic right now that I will link below as well. But here's the difference, by the way. I'll do a little test. So this, what I'm saying right now, is on the top of camera Deity mic running through my camera. And then this is the audio coming from my Shure microphone just out of camera shot and my Rodecaster Pro, which, by the way, the Rodecaster Pro, which I'm going to talk about in a sec, it has been it is so worth every penny for audio quality because this same microphone plugged into my camera didn't sound near as good. So anyway, top of camera microphone. This one is great. The Deity one I have on top right now is also great. These Rode Wireless Go, and I have the 2, which actually means I have 2 receptors, even though for some reason I can't figure out how to hook them both to this anymore. I'll have to pull the instructions back out. But basically, these are really cool because this just plugs straight into your camera, and then these are actual microphones. So there we go. This little hole in the front is actually a microphone, but you can also plug in like a regular lavalier mic. And these are awesome. The battery lasts a pretty long time on them. And with the 2 version, there are 2 microphones. So it'll go into the left and the right audio feed in your, what is this called, camera. And so if you have 2 people who need to be talking, these are great. You can also buy accessories where it looks like they're holding a microphone or whatever. And they're wireless. This is all I need. It plugs into my camera. This is charged. I can hook this on my shirt. I can hook it this way if I want to, and I can talk, and it's got great audio. These are spectacular, and a lot of the reason I bought them was if I'm out filming, again, like in my How to Be a Cool YouTuber video, and I'm not talking directly to the camera, I still want my audio good, but also because they're wireless, I don't want to have to fool with wires. But also in anticipation of conferences next year, because I'm so missing conferences, I want to be able to, do interviews or whatever I want to do. And these have great audio where I would even feel confident filming or recording a podcast with these. So anywho, these are spectacular. And last but not least, let me actually move this here so that I can pick this thing up, although I'll show some B-roll too. But the Rodecaster Pro, which again is, I think, probably where the audio for this video is coming through. But the Rodecaster Pro is basically an audio preamp mixing board. I don't know what you'd call this thing. And to be honest, it is pretty expensive. But like I said a second ago, the audio from this Shure mic is so much better going through this Rodecaster Pro than it is just going through my computer. So the Shure microphone that I have right here that you've seen as I've pulled it into shot is both XLR and USB-C, I think. And so it can plug directly into the computer. I don't need anything else, or it can go as an XLR into the Rodecaster, and the Rodecaster can go into my computer. But the awesome part about this Rodecaster is, one, the audio really is just spectacular. Hopefully you're able to hear that really well in this video. It's just super clear. It's not echoey. It's just great. But two, it's so freaking versatile. So if you don't know, I have a podcast called the Hey Jessica podcast. And on that podcast, it's just me talking. I don't have a co-host or anything. It's definitely a solo podcast. But I sit here in my office and record that, and I am so excited to have the versatility of what this Rode will let me do. One, the audio quality is just going to be way, way better. But two, y'all have sound effects. And I won't be able to hear them unless I put this on, so just hang tight with me. But are you ready? And then we've got, if I'm telling jokes and things. Scary noises. Claps, and you can program your own sounds into this. So anyway, it's not it is so versatile in so many ways for my podcast, but also look, I'm recording the audio for this video on it. I have the audio going through this onto my computer, so for video calls and things like that, it's spectacular. I'll be honest. I held off on the Rodecaster Pro for a really long time because to me, I was like, I've been podcasting since 2015 without this thing. I don't need it. Why would I need this? And I will say the only time I've really needed something like this is if I'm filming an in-person 2 or more person podcast interview, which I had a mini podcast series that I did with local business owners here called Small Town Big Biz, where I brought them into my studio when I had it, and we did some interviews and some coaching. This thing would have been spectacular for that because it was kind of a pain to get 2 audio feeds into my laptop. I could do it, but it's kind of a pain. So anyway, I'm just this is so great for the versatility. If you're looking for one audio tool and you're filming videos and doing podcast episodes or live streams or things like that, and you are stationary with your videos and you're I can only afford one thing, it would be a mic and this Rodecaster Pro. So I've got the Shure MV7, but honestly, anything from Shure or the Rode podcast, Rode, I don't know, Rode has an awesome podcast mic too. But anywho, everything Rode can be found on Amazon, so I felt like I had to include that in this video. All right, we have 2 more things that we need to talk about. By the way, if I didn't say this in the beginning, all of the links to everything I am mentioning or showing or talking about are below the video in the description. And the next thing is this Logitech mouse. I have been an Apple mouse user my whole life. I've had Macs since I graduated college and have literally never even owned a PC in my home since then. Anyway, I've had a Mac in my possession for as long as I can remember at this point, and I've always been an Apple mouse user. But this puppy, it's a Logitech MX Master 3, and what's really cool about it is that it has a ton of buttons. The sun's coming out. Of course it is. Anyway, it has a crap ton of buttons. Oh, there goes the sun again. I don't know. Y'all just hang with me. But has a ton of buttons. It has a button here. It has 2 scrolly wheels here. It has 2 buttons here, a button here, a scrolly wheel here, and of course the regular buttons. And it charges in the front. So if you need to charge it, you can plug it in and still use it, which, by the way, I have never charged this, and I've had it for 3 or 4 months at this point. I've never one time charged it. So it must have just spectacular battery life. But you know how on the Apple mouse, you can scroll, if you're scrolling vertically, you can swipe it like a trackpad. This has that same ability, except it's here in this scrolly wheel. So on like a Final Cut Pro timeline, I can just like scroll through it with my thumb. I also programmed these buttons in Final Cut Pro, which is one of the reasons I love it. So I programmed these buttons here to do some actions that I do regularly in Final Cut Pro. So like this one, I believe cuts for me. So if I'm like chopping up the footage, I can just like, I don't even have to do the keyboard shortcuts. I can just like cut with my thumb. And you can program these buttons in a ton of different programs, like in a ton of different softwares. So if you're like a regular Photoshop user, if you're a regular Premiere user, like if you're a regular anything user where you're needing more versatility out of your mouse, this is a great one. I honestly really love it. It's ergonomic, and to be honest, I was like, oh, that's stupid. I don't believe in that. But I truly believe it has helped my hand not cramp up and my wrist not be all wonky since I started using it. So that is, an A+ type situation. But you can actually sync it to like 3 different computers, 3 different devices, and it's automatically going to know which one it's in front of. So I truly thought nothing would ever take me away from an Apple mouse, but this puppy has. All right, last but not least, and this is one of those things you didn't know you needed. One of the things I use the most on my desk, but also like one of the cheapest things, and one of the things you wouldn't think you would use the most, okay? And that is this phone stand. So I was just watching Gilmore Girls as I was getting ready, and I had this phone stand and blah, blah, blah. So it holds your phone. It can also hold your iPad or whatever. And it's got a really big base, so it's like super sturdy. And it also extends quite a bit. So for me, I use this a lot to sit on my desk and like I'll raise it to the right height and film reels back here, like Instagram reels. And it has like the holes at the bottom so you can go ahead and plug in a charger and stuff. Anyway, I just absolutely love it. It is probably the favorite phone stand I've ever had. And again, it will work on your iPad or whatever you want it to hold. It's super sturdy. And for me as a content creator, because all of these things are for content creators in general, filming TikToks or Reels or Shorts on your phone is really important, and this has made it way, way easier for me. But I also don't want to discredit a mount for a tripod that will hold your phone. I can't find mine right now. I do have one, and my tripod is holding my camera. So, it is what it is. They do sell iPhone or just phone mounts that mount to your tripod. So if you're someone who films with your phone a lot, that is a really great accessory to have. And I'll make sure to link the one that I have below in the description. All right, so that rounds it out. There are a ton of other things that I have that I love, like these headphones. Are they not the cutest thing ever? Like, are they not adorable? Yes, they are. Go ahead and say yes, Jessica. Yes, they are. I wanted some noise canceling over the ear headphones because I have AirPods and they're great and I love them. I have the AirPods Pro or whatever, but I wanted some over the ear ones that wouldn't like irritate my ears after a while or whatever, because my husband has started working from home in addition to me working from home. And he is usually like right behind my wall. Like we share a wall kind of. And sometimes I can hear him, and I don't want to, whether he's on the phone or listening to music or whatever. And so I wanted some, but I also wanted some on-brand ones. Also, I have these plugged into my Rodecaster Pro, but these are also Bluetooth and wireless, so which is pretty cool that they can do both. And the sound quality is great. I actually ordered these, and these plug-in, like, what are these called? Just earbuds at the same time from Amazon. And the quality of these is just so much better. It really is. It's just like me being able to hear what's going on in my Rodecaster Pro. There's no static, blah, blah, blah. But also the noise canceling works great. And they're super freaking cute and on brand for me. They are kids' headphones, but I don't know. I figured since I showed them a minute ago, I should show them to you again and mention that they're also from Amazon, and I will link them below. All right, so that's really it. That's where we're going to round it out. Again, I have a ton of other things that I love, so I will link my Amazon affiliate store below as well, in case there's, you're just like, oh, what else do you love from Amazon? There's a ton of things there, and I would love to hear if there's something I mentioned today that you want like a further deep dive or look at in the comments below. And until next time, bye y'all.